On this episode of What's Happening with Ruggedman, we're going to be looking at some stories bordering around police brutality, but not only about police brutality to citizens, but also police brutality to police. These stories need to be told so that the world can hear them, and then so that Nigerians especially can move forward positively. So welcome to this episode of What's Happening with Ruggedman. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Good. Okay, let's just start by you introducing yourself and then telling us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Opeyemi Onalaja, a student of Olabisi Onabanjo University, studying philosophy. And I'm the first child in the family of 4.
Why you're here today is something that's really, really sensitive. So I want you to be as comfortable as possible.
Yes.
And this is an opportunity for you to let the world know what's happened to you. And it's definitely happening to a lot of other people out there. So we need to be heard. When I say we, I mean me inclusive, because God forbid it could be me or anybody else tomorrow. So that's why we're trying to do what we're doing right now to let the world know. So tell us your story. Tell us what happened.
On 11th of May 2020, my mom received a call from my dad's office. And the caller was like, my dad had a fatal accident and is in a critical condition.
Where's your father's office?
Ajangba, the police station, Ilemba, Hausa.
So your father is a police officer?
Yes.
A Nigerian police officer?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
So immediately she dropped the call. The caller told her that she should start coming to Ajangba, the police station, that is going to meet him there.
Okay.
So when she dropped the call, she left for the station to see my dad. When she got there, he told her my dad is dead.
Wow.
And she was like, what's the cause of the death? What really happened? They were like, did they understand that we are in a lockdown period, that he was trying to pass some cars. When he passed the first one, as he was about to pass the second one, unknown gunmen just started shooting. So she was like, was he the only one at the checking point? Because they said the checking point was in front of the station.
Okay.
They said no, that there were 4 at the checking point.
Okay.
So she was like, where did it bullet hit him? The officer said chest.
Okay.
So they were talking. The officer was like, they will pay her and her family 2,500 monthly.
Dollars?
Naira. 2,500 naira monthly.
Wait, so this was happening at the station when she went there?
At the station.
So they immediately went from he had a fatal accident to he's dead,
Yes.
and then they just suddenly decided how much they'll be paying.
That was what they said, that they would pay 2,500 naira monthly to her.
For what?
I don't know. They didn't say it. So she didn't even bother because of the shock of the death.
I can imagine.
She was not like, she wants to see his corpse. They were like, his corpse is at Yaba morgue. A morgue in Yaba. She was like, the distance from Ilemba, Ajangbadi to Yaba, they were like, those morgue that were around were full already. That was why they took him to Yaba. So she wasn't like, she wants to see him. How is she going to identify him when she gets there? So it was like, his document is there already. That when she gets there, they will allow her access to the corpse. So he gave her a police officer to follow her.
Who gave her?
The boss that she met.
The DPO or somebody else?
Not the DPO. He said, she asked the question when she got there, that is he the DPO? He said no, that is not the DPO.
Okay.
So he gave her an officer to follow her to the morgue. The officer they called, his nickname is Eko.
Echo.
Eko, yes. It was like he's not going to follow her. Like, was it the one that took the cops there? That what of those that took the cops, they should take her. So it took some minutes. He later followed her. Maybe like, well, he has already delayed everything. So when they got to the morgue, it was already late in the night. And past 7 to 8. They didn't allow her access the cops. They were like, she didn't have any documents to identify the cops. She now told the officer that, why did you follow me when your boss was like, the document is already there?
Yeah.
So he called his boss. So his boss now told him to give those workers at the morgue
The phone.
the phone. They were like, no, that he should put it on loudspeaker. We should all hear what he's going to say.
Okay.
So the officer was telling them that the person with the document is at Ikorodu.
Okay.
That is going to bring it the following day. So my mom was like, the following day again. So she's not going to see her husband's corpse today. It was like, yes, that they'll bring it the following day. So she told him that before 8, the following morning, she must have met the documents at the morgue. And before she left the station, she asked that, when did the scene happen? When did he die?
Okay.
They were like, Sunday night. That was 10th of May.
And what day did they call her?
Monday.
11th of May.
Yes.
2020.
2020.
Okay.
So the following day, before they brought the document, it was around past 12. When they finally brought the document, she saw the corpse. The story was different because they said unknown gunmen shot him.
Okay.
He was on duty. He was at a checking point in front of the station.
The station. Okay.
When she saw the corpse, his uniform was unbuttoned. His shirt was unbuttoned. The bullet was direct to his chest because it wasn't penetrating. The bullet didn't penetrate through the shirt.
So there was no hole on the shirt.
No. His singlet was totally torn. It was torn. His trousers around the pocket side was also torn. That his boxers was showing. His shoes are not properly worn. Like as if it was removed. That they just, maybe when he was dead, they
took his clothes off
kept,
and
maybe they kept, but the shoe is not properly worn. Like he was on duty. Anybody on duty would be fully dressed.
Fully dressed. Yes.
The button would, the shirt would be unbuttoned and everything. So his eyes was widely open. The mouth was swollen. And the position of the corpse was like he had a struggle. His body was not straight. It was folded, like maybe there's a physical struggle with anyone. So when she saw that, she was like, the story is totally different because what she's saying is different from what they said. Even if it was unknown gunmen that shot him, it will penetrate through his shirt. His clothes will not be torn. His singlet was totally torn. Nothing happened to his shirt.
So there was no hole on his shirt. There was no hole on his trousers, except the trousers were a bit torn in the pocket area.
Yes.
And then his uniform was unbuttoned.
His singlet was
torn. So obviously these are like signs of his struggle.
Yes. And the shape of the corpse.
The way he was positioned
like this.
I'm sorry I'm putting you through
No
this,
problem.
but it's just something we need to let the world know so that okay. So when you reached out to me, you said he was shot once, or it was a bullet, but by the time they got to the morgue, they found how many bullet holes on him?
The bullet was over 16 on his chest.
He was at a checkpoint in front of his police station.
Yes.
So obviously it was not only him.
Yes.
And then unknown gunmen came, and he was the only one that got shot almost 15 times.
No, I don't know. Maybe almost 15 times. But the total number of the bullets.
Yes.
It might be Any gun, there's some gun that
Okay, they
has
have pellets.
different,
They have
yes,
pellets.
pellets,
Okay.
cartridge. So it might be that, we don't know. But because the bullets were little bullets.
Okay,
It was
so
just it
I
was
remember I know I read something about this. I saw that the Lagos State Police Twitter handle put out a
posted
press release that they arrested
this
that the DPO in your father's station, they arrested two fake soldiers,
soldiers.
and I think they had a scuffle with the soldiers. Then the soldiers who left and came back and then attacked, and that was how your father got shot. So I'm now wondering, the same way you've asked earlier that was he the only one at the checkpoint. Now I'm going to have to ask, was he the only one at the police station when the soldiers came back? Okay. How did you find out exactly about all this?
His phone was ringing till the third day of his death.
Okay.
And they didn't release his phone, his purse, and ID card. So back to how we knew. When my mom left the morgue, she received a call after
Who
leaving.
received the call?
My mom,
Okay.
from an unknown caller. It was like, it's the DPO that killed my dad. So she was not like, how come? The caller was like, he has a local gun.
That the DPO has a
As
local
a
gun.
local gun.
Okay.
That it is the local gun he used in shooting. It dropped immediately. So she was like, DPO. Something like that. The following day, she received another call. The caller was like, she should go and confront the DPO with a lawyer
Okay.
and the family, that he is very sure it's the DPO that killed my dad. The second person again. So the caller was not like, before it dropped, it was like, if they want to know the true story, they should send some policemen to that area
Okay.
that the scene happened. That everyone in that area heard the gunshot. And most people in that area knows that it's the DPO that killed my dad. So when after that she dropped, under that Instagram story that they posted
About the fake
about the
soldiers?
fake soldiers,
Okay.
someone commented under the post that they stop covering up for the DPO, that they should stop lying against those fake soldiers, that it is the DPO that did the work. I was like, and I messaged the person that, how did you know that it's the DPO that did the work? It was like, everyone knows. It was not like, but what he told me was that different stories from different people.
Okay.
But the same story is that it's the DPO, but with different reasons. The first one said it was an accidental discharge.
Okay.
That my dad stopped a bike man. That the bike man was dragging with my dad, something like that. Angrily, the DPO came out of his office and saw the bike man that was dragging with a policeman.
Police officer.
Immediately, he was about to shoot the bike man, shot my dad. That was another story. I was like, I didn't believe that story. That it is not accidental. Because if it is accidental, the bullet will penetrate direct. And is he facing the even if he is facing the DPO, it will be direct, not direct to the chest without uniform or anything. So I was like, they were like, that was what they said in the area. I was like, maybe because they knew, everyone has known that it's the DPO, that they're not looking for something to cover up, that is no intentional, that it was accidental, something like that. So different calls saying DPO. And since that day that the scene happened, the DPO didn't bother to call my mom, maybe for condolence or to explain anything about what happened. He didn't bother. He didn't even, no calls from him, nothing.
Especially,
and all those police officers that were they were not even ready to talk. They didn't care. They didn't even bother to some okay, this is what happened. Different stories with different lies. So my mom went to zone 2 to drop a petition for the AIG about what happened. So she dropped the letter. She went to Punch News. They carried the news about what happened, different radio stations, like that. So when she already dropped the letter at AIG's office in Zone 2, when the following Monday that Punch carried the news was now viral, something like that.
Did she mention the DPO story in it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Okay. So they now called her from Zone 2 that same Monday when they saw the newspaper. They were like, she should come the following day with the same newspaper, the Punch News. Okay. So she went. She already dropped a petition before. They said the AIG wants to see her and ask some questions. She went there. She explained. She dropped the news. They were like evidence. She showed them the pictures because she took the pictures
at the morgue.
Yes.
Okay.
So she showed them. They collected. They told her to write statements about what happened. They were like, they are going to invite the DPO about what happened. And what they told us was that the scene happened on Sunday, and between 9 to 10 p.m.
Okay.
And the DPO just reports to the area command on Saturday, 16th of May, about the incident.
Hold on. It happened when?
Sunday 10th.
Sunday 10th.
Yes.
And the DPO reported
16th,
Saturday, a day before?
No.
After?
A week after.
A week after?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
About the incident. So immediately they sent a signal that they should report, and the area commander that they should arrest them, something like that. So they were like, because we came from Ogun State, so we were told not to go back to Ogun State that day, that should stay because we will be called the following day.
Okay. The
following day we were called to Zone 2. So when we got there, they were like, they already brought the DPO because we were late. The hold up was much that the commissioner of police, as head of the case, that's Hakeem Odumosu, as head of the case, and he ordered the case to be transferred to the state CID at Kpanti. So when we got there, they told us the case has been transferred to Kpanti, that we should. So we met the assistant commissioner of police of Kpanti at Zone 2. So he told us to follow him, to also come there to drop statements about what happened, that the DPO has been arrested with the area commander. So we got to Kpanti. We met the commissioner of police, Mrs. Yetunde Lonjo. So we explained everything. We dropped our statements. I have the pictures, some voice notes, that all those that were calling, because we recorded
some of them. Yeah, you sent me some of them. Okay.
So we dropped it, and they were like, they will investigate on what really happened.
Okay.
And since then, we've not heard anything.
We'll go back to that in a bit, but right now, tell us about your father. What kind of man was he?
My dad is very, very hardworking, very disciplined. He's a disciplined type. What he wants, he wants. What he doesn't want, he doesn't want. Anyhow, maybe he doesn't care about how you feel. Maybe what he's going to say will hurt you. Maybe it will not hurt you. He will say it plain, the way it is in his mind. And he cares a lot, like about his kids, his wife. Very caring.
What's his name?
His name is Opeyemi Onalaja.
And he was a
sergeant.
Sergeant Onajide
Onalaja.
Onalaja. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
On a slightly light note, what did he like to eat?
Two,
What did your dad like to eat?
he loves catfish with a bar.
Why did you like catfish? You should have liked croaker. I prefer croaker. I just wanted people to know a bit about the man we're talking about.
He's
The man
dark, very tall,
Genge
slim. He looks younger than his age.
age. What would you miss about him the most?
A lot. Because a lot is he does more for me and my brother. Like, there's in some cases it could be maybe the mother that will do most things, or maybe the welfare of the kids. He does more. He knows everything about me, about my brother. Anytime I call him that maybe I'm sick or something, he was like, okay, he's already expecting me to have called, that he has calculated different things. Like, even about my period, he knows everything. Like, he studies his kids, everything.
So he's in tune with you. He's
Everything.
in sync with his kids.
Very close. We're very, very close.
Okay.
Very close.
How did the people how did your neighbors take the news?
Everyone was surprised because it was a shock. The day he died, he called me. He called, but anytime I'm together with my mom or anytime I'm at home like that, he doesn't tell my mom to give me phone. He'll call my mom and also call me in the same house. So he called my mom that same morning. He also called me that same morning. That rain is falling at lag, transferred some money to me that for my period that week and some things.
So that was the last thing. That was the last conversation
thing
you had.
That was the last. So it was a very big shock, like very big shock.
So what do you want to tell people right now? What do you want to tell people listening right now? And also, what do you hope will come out of the whole situation? Yes, we know the DPO has been arrested, right?
Yes.
And then from what they said at State CID, the investigation is ongoing. Though it's taken over 2 weeks now, we've not heard anything. Let's hope we'll hear. But let me start with, what do you hope to come out of this?
My hope is that justice prevail. Like, the truth should be revealed. What really happened? What transpired leading to death? What has it done? What is his offense? Like, what really happened? And we want justice. That's it.
And it's not looking too good for the DPO, for the fact that he told some lies to try to cover up.
And he's even a leader. A head of a station. Mm-hmm. The station is in your control. Even if it was, I don't know.
Even if it was an accident,
then
you should be the first person to step forward, so that you lead by example, so that you let other officers know that even if you do something wrong, come
most
forward.
Most people were really scared. They were like, the man is too harsh.
Who, the DPO?
The DPO. Like, they were even scared to talk.
Do you know the DPO's name?
Yes.
What's his name?
Yaya Muhammad Adeshino.
Yaya Muhammad Adeshino. Oh well. At least now we know his name. We know the DPO's name. But by God's grace, we'll wait for the investigation to be over, and we'll hear what the police will say finally. And we really do pray and hope that justice will prevail. What would you like to tell people out there right now?
What I would like to tell people is that in any circumstance or in anything we meet ourselves doing, we should make sure it is good. That if people meet us at that action, will it be good? Will it be a good example to others? Or will it be bad? No. Like, I'm advising people, always have a good behavior. portray a good, behave like a good leader. Anybody can be a leader anytime, any day. Apart from being a leader, you can start from your home. Because if he has, even if it was accidental, I believe that if you don't have something bad in mind, you won't do it.
You won't do it, or you won't try to cover
You
it
won't
up.
even try to cover up and something like that. So and we don't know who is the next. So we should always have a clean behavior
Okay.
and always do good. That's it.
If your dad could hear you right now, what would you say to him?
Dad, if my dad would rest in peace, like
Bele, sorry, yeah? Take it easy. Be strong, okay? Be strong.
and I promise to make him happy.
I'm sure he can hear you. I'm sure he can hear you, and so many other people can hear you. So many other people can hear you, and we will do our best to make sure that justice is served. We will support in any way we can, starting by putting this word out, putting your side of the story out. And just like I did, I reached out to the Lagos State Police PRO, DSP Bala Elkana, and he already told me about the investigation before the DPO was arrested. So we will, by God's grace, follow up, and the person responsible will not go scot-free. We, as a lot of Nigerians, are tired of injustice going, unpunished. And we pray that with the way 2020 has started, being hard on everybody, we need to be hard on ourselves to do the right thing. And definitely we'll follow up on this. Okay? Pele? I have to say it in Yoruba because I know you're Yoruba. Pele, sorry.
Thank you.
No problem. I just have one last question. I should have asked it earlier. But why did you reach out to me?
I think I came across one of your posts like that about, was it not what's happening or life on IG, something like that.
Funny enough, that's exactly what I'm doing. What's happening with Ruggedman? Talking about a whole lot of things. Yes.
You were talking about a man, like something like that. I saw the post, so I checked your profile because when the incident happened, I was trying to just connect with people, like everything should be viral. Because if we don't do it that way, everything will be covered. Because it's a DPO. He knows a lot of people. And we don't know anyone except from God. So I was only trying to, that was when I saw an activist, entertainer. I do hear about Rugged Baba.
Okay.
So I checked the profile, rapper and everything. So I just decided, because I messaged a lot of people. A lot. But you were the only one
that responded?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, and here we are today. And I thank God for that. I thank you for reaching out. Thank you for reaching out, because it actually shows that people actually notice what I do. Yes, I've been fighting a lot for people. I've been helping people get justice and everything. And that's why I decided to start what's happening with Ruggedman and actually use it as a platform to give people who cannot actually be heard really loudly. I'm giving them a platform now for them to come out, speak, and be heard. And you're here already with us, and by God's grace, justice will be served. Okay? Thank you very much for coming on. And I pray God gives your family and you the strength to bear your loss. And we pray this will be the last from your family.
Amen.
The family will, you will live long, you will prosper, and you will be successful. You can't survive Corona and die by accident. No, that will not be your portion anymore from now on. Thank you very much for coming.